Go.
On the island of Lemieux, where the heavens touch the sea, Hutash, the earth goddess, walked alone. The birds and sea lions, flowers and trees, all were her friends. But still, Hutash was not happy. The earth goddess longed to share her island home with people made in her own image. When the time was right, Hutash climbed the highest mountain on Lemieux and gathered seeds from a sacred plant. Casting the seeds before her, she spoke. As there are seeds scattered upon the earth, so shall there be people. The seeds took root within the fertile soil and grew into plants. But then they opened. Instead of flowering, people, male and female, young and old, stepped forth. This was the beginning of the Chumash tribe. The earth goddess was pleased with the people. They were like her, children, and she loved them. That night, Hutash raised her arms and called to her husband, the Milky Way. Great wise sky snake, behold the Chumash people, who are beautiful and strong of limb. Hearing her call, Sky Snake wrapped himself in a cloak of light and came down from his place in the heavens. He moved among the sleeping Chumash and looked into their faces. Sky Snake's heart went out to the people, and he loved them as if they were his children. It is true, he said, the Chumash are beautiful and strong of limb. But see how they sleep on the cold ground and have no warm food to eat. Sky Snake returned to his home in the heavens and made a gift for the people. Opening his mouth, he stuck out his tongue and sent a lightning bolt down to Lemieux. Where the lightning struck, a fire began to burn. Awakening from their cold sleep, the Chumash gathered joyfully around the fire. They danced and sang many praises. In the moons that followed, they learned how to keep the fire burning so that no one was cold at night, and they learned how to cook their food on the glowing embers. Now the Chumash grew in numbers until the village became busy and crowded. But once again, Hutash was not happy. Too many children trampled the flowers and frightened the animals away. Too many mothers cooked on fires and sang to their infants. Too many fathers chanted and danced into the night. The earth goddess could not sleep. Her eyes were red and swollen. Her head throbbed from so much noise. Something had to be done. Hutash entered the village to talk to the Chumash people. But one after another, they would not listen. Everyone was too loud and busy. "Aye!" the goddess cried. "What am I to do?" In the shade of a hut, a boy and a girl were quietly weaving baskets. The two friends recognized the goddess and saw that she was weary, so they invited her inside. The girl offered the goddess a bowl of acorn porridge. The boy filled a seashell with spring water and set it before her. Hutash tasted the porridge, then spoke. "Tell the people that Lemieux has grown crowded. In 3 days, half of you must leave and go to the island across the water. The other half may stay on my island." Although he was frightened, the boy spoke up. "How can our people cross the ocean? The other land is far away. They will drown." Hutash finished her porridge, drank the spring water, then wiped her lips. "Tell the people that in 3 days I will build them a bridge," she said. "Those who have chosen to leave will cross over the water on my bridge." Without looking back, the goddess left the hut and climbed the highest mountain on Lemieux. When the boy and the girl showed their people the bowl Hotach had eaten from and the seashell which she had quenched her thirst, the Chumash listened. That day they held a great council and decided who should go to the new land and who should remain on Lemieux. In 3 days the village awakened to a wondrous sight. A rainbow bridge stretched from the highest mountain on Lemieux to the highest mountain on the land across the water. Soon families began to gather at the bridge. The girl's family was the first in line. The boy's family followed behind. When it came time to cross over, some Chumash were afraid, so Hotach gave them her blessing. Go forth and fill the world with many children, she said. With her blessing in their ears, the people began their journey across the rainbow. Halfway over, the boy grew curious. How can people walk through the sky on such a bridge, he wondered. Looking down through the rainbow at the rolling waves and the swirling fog, the boy grew dizzy. Although he tried to walk straight, he lost his balance and tumbled off the bridge. As he fell, he called out to the girl for help, but she did not hear. The boy was not alone. Some of the other Chumash also looked down and were falling into the sea. On the island of Lemieux, the earth goddess heard their cries and saw that they were drowning. Hotach loved the people and could not bear to lose a single one. With a wave of her hand, the goddess swept away the fog and calmed the sea. Then she spoke. As there are people who walk upon the land, so shall there be people who swim in the ocean. With that, Hotach turned the drowning Chumash into dolphins, and they were saved. As the last person stepped off the bridge onto the new land, the earth goddess pursed her lips and blew into the sky. The rainbow bridge disappeared. Hotach looked about and was pleased. Peace and happiness had returned to the island of Lemieux. But all was not well on the new land. At the foot of the bridge, the girl waited in vain for her friend. When the rainbow bridge disappeared, she knew he had fallen into the ocean, and she feared he was drowning. Bitter tears fell from the girl's eyes as she ran down the mountain, across the beach, and dove into the sea. She called out for her friend, hoping he would hear, but the boy was nowhere in sight. Then, from all sides, rising out of the waves, dolphins, male and female, young and old, surrounded the swimming girl. Jumping into the air, the dolphins called to each other in their whistling voices. One young dolphin boldly swam closer than all the rest. The girl looked into its dark eyes and was not afraid. She encircled its neck with her arms. Her sadness disappeared, for the girl understood then what the Chumash understand to this day. The dolphins of the sea are brothers and sisters of their tribe.